is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southeast.
Purple rain in Minneapolis has given way to bright sunny skies above Target Field, where tonight the Braves and the Minnesota Twins wrap up their two-game series. Last night, Atlanta shut them out. A great game pitched by Lucas Harrell, and Atlanta tries to sweep away Minnesota here in the road trip finale. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome to the ballpark. Atlanta 2, Minnesota nothing was one of the stories of this series. After that win last night, a couple of Braves fans said to John Coppolella, break up the ball club. Well, I think John took them literally, because a few minutes ago, the Braves announced a big trade with the Texas Rangers.
Indeed, Lucas Harrell and Dario Alvarez are going over to the Texas Rangers for a young man that's from the state of Georgia, Travis Demeritte, second baseman, former first-round draft pick. I am stoked about this. You see the numbers at the bottom today. The Braves have been lacking sorely in the home run department, the power department, in the minor leagues, in the big leagues. He's got 25 long balls this year, so I know everybody's fired up about this acquisition.
So, Kelsey Wingert, the Braves turned two players who were not even on their roster at the start of this year into a former #1 pick who slides right into this farm system that needs some offense.
Yes, definitely a very, very exciting day, and you mentioned it there. The most exciting thing about this is these two guys were not in the Braves organization 9 weeks ago. You take Dario Alvarez, who was claimed off of waivers, and then Lucas Harrell, who was released from the Tigers AA team, and they picked him up as a free agent, and they have now turned that into arguably their best power-hitting prospect. And they've been stockpiling that pitching. We know we've been talking about that. The pitching, we want to see hitting, and now it's starting to pay off. And here's Braves general manager John Coppolella on the deal earlier today.
We have talked about trading pitching for hitting, and it's a trade that does that. I mean, obviously he's not here right now, but he's a kid who's moved pretty quickly. He's 21 years old. He's from here. He's played very well. He actually started second base opposite Dansby Swanson for the Futures game. 25 home runs. I don't think anybody that's in the Braves minor leagues right now is anywhere close to that. So we're trying to find right-handed power everywhere that we can, and he obviously fits that. He's a great kid. We've done a lot of work on him for a long time. We knew him well from this area, and we're very excited to add him to the Braves organization.
So Chip and Joe, definitely a trade and a name to be very excited about. And Lucas Harrell, the way he pitched last night was the icing on top of this cake to seal this deal today.
Yeah, let's face it, Kelsey, if he goes 2 innings and gets knocked out last night, this deal probably doesn't happen. So the timing was great, and let's face it, power plays. He may not always be a second baseman, but he's got some socks, so that's a great thing for the Braves organization.
So a busy day for John Coppolella. Who knows? We still have a few days until the August 1st trade deadline. There might be a few other trade possibilities down the road for the Atlanta Ball Club, and when those happen, we, of course, will let you know. In the meantime, Adonis Garcia swinging a red-hot bat. He homered here last night, and we'll talk about his hot run at the hot corner when we come back to Minneapolis after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Baseball is sponsored by Georgia's best Chevy dealers.
Welcome back once again for Game 2 and the series finale between the Twins and the Braves as the Braves try to salvage the road trip. And taking a break from all of this trade talk, it's time to focus on the Braves third baseman Adonis Garcia, who has been the backbone and the power in this lineup recently, and he is the subject of our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. He is riding a career-best 8-game hitting streak, hitting .394 in that with 3 home runs. He's reached base safely in 16 straight games, and that average keeps on rising. Now, Brian Snitker told us earlier today Garcia's best asset is his aggressiveness, and he said when guys like that get it going, they can be dangerous, and they will hope that Adonis Garcia stays dangerous tonight because the Braves will need that in Game 2 to pull off a sweep here in Minnesota with Mike Foltynewicz on the mound for your Atlanta Braves, looking for his 4th W of the season. Chip and Joe take it back with first pitch and starting lineups next.
For the Braves and Twins, our second game of what will be a 2-2 home-and-home series. We'll see the Twins back in Atlanta in mid-August. In the meantime, the Braves will take aim at Tyler Duffey, young right-hander who was very impressive for them last year, but Joe has run into a real spate of home run balls, and that's something he and the Twins have to figure out pretty quickly.
Well, take a look at this, Chip. His batting average against first, second, and third time through the order. His problems are mid-innings. He seems to get through the first couple okay, but the middle innings are just tearing him up. He is 25 years old, 6'3", 220 out of Houston, Texas, and was a 5th-round pick in 2012 out of Rice University.
No changes for the Atlanta lineup with the exception of Jeff Francoeur, who's the designated hitter tonight. Nick Markakis is in right field, and Duffy's first of the night is off the plate, and we're underway. .73 degrees, winds out of the north at 9 miles an hour. And it is much more comfortable tonight than it was here last night. And there's a strike to Jace Peterson. 2-1 your count. And that's lined out of play left side. It's now even at 2-2.
He's not overpowering. Duffy's fastball sits 89 to 92. Curveball change. Curveball is his pitch, and he likes to throw it in any count.
Something Duffy talked about, Joe, after his last couple of bad outings. In fact, he had an awful time against the Red Sox. 9 hits in 2 1/3 innings. He said he's been thinking too much. He needs to simplify his approach. And one of the issues he said has caused him problems was because he doesn't throw an overpowering fastball, he's been working on a changeup. And that has taken away some of his fastball velocity, which, as you said, is 89 and 90, maybe at max effort.
Well, you can see that he's a bit of a slinger, too. He's low 3/4 arm slot. And that sometimes is a problem for a curveball pitcher. He's got to get on top of that curveball, and it's tough from that arm angle.
But it's amazing. I mean, last year, from August until mid-May this year, this kid was 6-2, a 2.13 ERA. He'd given up 4 homers. It's bombs away against him since. And the Braves will take all the help they can get in that department here in Game 2. Gordon Beckham is in the lineup again tonight. Takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Last 12 ugly numbers. First 4 very good. He only had time to walk 1 batter in that start in Boston in 2 1/3 innings because the Red Sox were touching him up. As you said, 9 hits and no strikeouts.
There's a strike. It's 2-1. That's a laser into the second deck off to our right. And hope everybody's all right.
One of the things the Twins have done here at Target Field is extend that screen all the way across the top of the dugouts, which we have been trying to get teams to do for quite a while, just to protect those folks closest to the field. Good for the Twins.
Fly ball, pretty well hit toward left center field. That ball is going to bounce right off the 377 sign. It ricochets back toward the infield. And Jace Peterson will score from first on a ringing double by Gordon Beckham. Atlanta cashes in a leadoff walk here in the first.
Boy, did Gordon need that. Really struggling. 0 for his last 16. He got fooled a little bit on this. Breaking ball, but it stayed in the middle of the plate, and it was very flat. Didn't have much on it in terms of break. And Gordon barreled it up right at the base of the wall, and then it bounces by both outfielders. Good start.
Yeah, a chance for a big inning for the Braves. Grossman in left. Rosario in center. Neither could handle that ball cleanly, and Atlanta took advantage. That one was really ripped.
And the Twins are glad there's a screen in front of their dugout.
I don't know how you guys survive in the day without those protective nets.
Usually tried to sit by somebody really fat and make sure they were between you and home plate.
Kind of resent the fact that you looked at me when you said that, but I understand. It's out of play.
You get it.
0-2. Freddie at 272 on the year. He's 7 for 32 on the road trip. And that's way up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, it'd be nice to give Mike Foltynewicz 2 or 3 first inning runs and then let him go to work. Always a treat to watch Mike pitch. As Freeman spoiled another one.
Good try by Freddie, though, still trying to hit one to the right side and get Beckham over to third.
We mentioned the trade in our opening comments. The Braves did not, to my knowledge, have anyone come up from the minor leagues to replace Alvarez and Harrell on the roster.
You don't need Harrell. I mean, he wouldn't.
Right.
You really don't need anybody to replace him. But they will be a man short in the bullpen, to my knowledge, because that deal didn't happen until after the team had gotten to the ballpark.
Two balls, two strikes. And Freddie stays alive. That is making Duffy work. Freeman will see an 8th pitch. Good fielding crowd tonight in Minneapolis.
A lot of early chances. That guy had his shades on. He'd never made that play. Clouds have moved in, so he had a little better vision.
Another one out of play. And right now, Duffy doesn't have anything he can get past the Braves hitters. Already 20 pitches and nobody out.
It's not a good sign compared to what Urban Santana did last night.
A shot to right field. That's going to get down. Here comes Beckham around third. They're going to wave him. Throw to the plate is cut off by Joe Mauer. It's 2-0.
Mauer had Freeman in front of him right there. You could see that Freddie really wasn't trying to make him cut the ball off by rounding first real wide. I was a little surprised he cut that ball. Fought it off a little bit, wasn't hit that hard, but Bo Porter didn't hesitate. He was sending Beckham all the way.
That's Danny Santana in right field, not Max Kepler, who we saw in Game 1.
And watching the replay, he probably was smart to cut it. May have been told to cut it by Suzuki. I don't think they had a play.
Nick Markakis, the Braves cleanup man. 2-0, and a ground ball hit towards second. There's one, and just in time. 2 outs. Duffy needed that. 2 for the price of 1. Here's a look at the Twins defense. Grossman, Rosario, and Santana in the outfield. Brian Dozier turned in a handful of terrific plays at second last night. Nunez is slick fielding shortstop. Sano and Mauer on the infield corners. And as Joe said, Kurt Suzuki is behind the plate. So 2 in, 2 out. Paul Molitor will take a peek at Adonis Garcia, who homered here last night. And he jumps on the first pitch and pops it up. Mauer, foul ground, and no play.
One of the things the Twins talked about after the game last night, and one of the reasons Santana pitched a complete game and only threw 97 pitches in his loss, was how aggressive the Braves hitters were. They had a lot of first pitch swings, including Adonis. There's a good breaking ball.
8 homers, 30 RBIs for Garcia. And an 8-game hitting streak.
And he has said that he thinks one of the reasons he's had this good run is that he's been a little more selective. Now, I'm not sure you could prove that by me, because he's been swinging at a lot of first pitches.
Line into right center field. Another base hit for Garcia. Rosario cuts it off. 360 spin. Throw to second is late. And Adonis has the second extra base hit for the Braves here in the first inning.
Duffy's got to be wondering what's going on. Maybe he's tipping his pitches, because he's worked 3 1/3 innings his last 2 starts, and he's given up 12 hits and 2 extra base hits this inning, as you said. Neil Allen is the pitching coach. He'll make a trip out there to try to calm things down. Just when I'd said he doesn't really have problems in the first couple of innings, it's usually the middle innings when he starts getting in trouble. But I've always thought, at least from a hitter's standpoint, a guy who's got that low arm angle like that, you see the ball so well out of his hand And I was talking to Nick Markakis before the ball game about hitting in this ballpark. He did it a lot in the American League, and he said he loves hitting here because it's an outstanding background. That batter's eye is huge out there in center field, so you pick the ball up even better with that kind of background.
So that young man now enjoys a 2-0 lead. Jeff Francoeur, the designated hitter. And he takes a strike. When I mentioned that the Braves didn't expand their roster after the deal, Jeff's eyes lit up because as the DH, he now moves up one slot in the bullpen rotation.
And he wasn't kidding.
He was not kidding. He was asking, hey, in the American League, can the designated hitter pitch? Yes, you can.
Sure. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Exactly. Jeff had a hit last night. And he launches that one to straightaway center. That ball is gone. Jeff Francoeur launches a 2-run homer. A 1-iron to straightaway center.
No doubt about it. I mean, that ball wasn't very high, folks, and it's 403 to the base of the wall in deep right center. Fastball scalded. That's a Tom McCarthy 1-iron right there. Bombs away.
His first since July 10th. Francoeur homered off James Shields of the White Sox. And boy, was that something Atlanta needed in interleague play. Their DHs have not done much. The second home run hit by a designated hitter for the Braves in interleague play this year. And Atlanta has ambushed the Twins for 4 first-inning runs. Another line drive. This one the other way by Inciarte.
Well, they've had 2 2-run rallies. It's time to start another one before the inning's over. Something up and out over the plate. You can see Suzuki just kind of frees his glove there, like that ball's not going to get to my glove in that location.
And finally, the Minnesota Twins greet AJ with a standing boo.
I just realized he's been here for 48 hours.
AJ had the weirdest double I think I've ever seen in a big league game last night. He hit a ball, what, 5 feet down the first base line that was a 1.5 foot foul. And it went past the first base bag and appeared foul. But Doug Eddings, tonight's home plate umpire, said it was a fair ball. Joe Mauer couldn't believe it, and the Braves got a run as a result.
This ball never hit in fair territory. Bounced foul right there. Kind of squirreled its way over the bag, but then landed foul again. Thank you very much.
And AJ scored on a double play ball. That and the Garcia homer was all Atlanta needed. They've got 4 in the first. And AJ serves that one down the left field line. That's a thing of beauty and in for a hit. Inciarte stops at third. AJ Pierzynski with a bloop double. And the Braves are going to send 9 men to the plate in the first inning. And the fans in Minneapolis aren't too happy.
Well, we saw a lot of this in Colorado. It just wasn't by the Braves. Rocky's batting around early in the ball game. This time it's the Braves having a little fun. That was a thing of beauty. Just flipped it out there.
So Suzuki's going to try somehow, some way to get Duffy through this first inning. The Braves have 4 runs on 6 hits. And the Twins bullpen is busy. Michael Tonkin, a king-sized right-hander, is beginning to work.
His teammates call him Honky.
And strike for Erick Aybar. Pop fly foul back toward the Braves radio booth. Jim Powell will climb back from under the desk in a moment as we get set for an 0-2 pitch. "37 pitches." Wow. For the Twins' young righty.
How about 2 more runs?
Aybar at .215 for the year, a homer and 17 driven in. Has there been a swing and a miss by the Braves in this inning?
I don't think so. I remember all those pitches that Freddie saw. He just kept spoiling them too.
What a lonely feeling that must be for a man on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And remember, he got 2 outs from 1 swing. The double play by Markakis.
Started with a leadoff walk for Peterson. Beckham doubled him home with a line drive off the wall. Freddie Freeman with a base hit. Made it 2-zip. A double play, a double, a Francoeur homer. And now Aybar with a ground ball to second. Dozier's got it. And the Braves bat around in the first. Sarcastic cheer from the Twins fans as Mike Foltynewicz has been handed a 4-0 lead. The big blow, Jeff Francoeur's, what'd you call it?
Tom McCarthy 1-iron.
To straightaway center. 4-0 Atlanta. Twins are coming up. Braves starter. We have not seen many 4-0 leads after a half inning this year, but that's what Mike Foltynewicz has in his 3rd interleague start.
How about these numbers? 15 innings, no runs allowed, no walks allowed, and 14 strikeouts. And has come against the White Sox and the Royals. So now we go to Fort Keys for pitching success. 5 walks. What? That was a season high in his last start at Colorado. And you know you can't walk people out there. I don't think you'll see that tonight. And just like in The Wizard of Oz, don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the scoreboard. Yes, he's got some runs to work with, but pitch your game.
The Braves got 4 runs in the first inning for the first time since April 17th.
Wow. Okay.
And Nunez, the shortstop, leads off. And Mike lays one in there at 94 miles an hour. He's at 298 with 12 homers and might be a trade candidate for the Minnesota club.
He had a great night last night. 1 for 3 with a walk, 3 stolen bases. Got left stranded at third 3 times.
There's a bolt hit to left and into the seats. It's 2-2. And the Twins last night, I believe, were 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
That's correct.
And that has plagued them most of this season. As a club, hitting .235 with runners in scoring position for the year. Popped up. AJ behind the plate, up against the screen, is not going to have a play. And then AJ starts to yell at the guy standing there with his girlfriend for bailing out instead of protecting her.
Hope it didn't hit her.
I don't think it did. I thought it hit a seat.
AJ's pointing to his head like it hit her in the head. I'm sure that feels a lot better, rubbing it real hard like that. Ah. She's seated. Now she moves over.
Never saw it.
No.
I saw it hit the seat and bounce.
Poor thing. Maybe it came up on the bounce and got her.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And a little number right back to the mound. And Mike will make the play for out number 1. Good start for Foltynewicz, who at times, Joe, has started slowly this year.
That's true. His first couple of innings are always tough.
Oh, it sure did.
It did ricochet off of her. Ow. Oh, God. I don't blame AJ for getting on him.
Bless her heart. Here's Mauer. Joe Mauer is in a hitting slump. 4 for his last 28. And Mauer hitting .258 for the year. No hits for him last night. And that's up and away.
A lot of the Braves were talking about him after the game, about taking a lot of pitches from Lucas Harrell that were right there, good pitches, some change-ups, and he didn't even offer for called strikes. I know he doesn't swing much, but he got something to hit.
Easy play at first. 2 ground ball outs for Foltynewicz. And Miguel Sano, the third baseman, is their third place hitter. The Twins have a lot of young players on their club, and like the Braves have dealt with their young pitching staff, they're dealing with growing pains for their young offensive players, and Sano falls into that category too.
He is a big guy.
.15 homers, 38 runs batted in. He had a huge second half for the Twins last season. And this one's hit right into the shift. And Folty works a perfect 3 up, 3 down first with 3 soft ground balls. 4-0 Atlanta. Toughest lady in the ballpark right there. It's 4-0. on the boyfriend, but I think he was more concerned about the young lady who was hit with that foul ball. And look at what A.J. Pierzynski did.
Great. That'll put a smile on her face.
We're going to keep an eye on her when A.J. comes back up, because if she boos him.
Well, I was just going to say, hey, that was easy for A.J. to do because he now has a friend in Minneapolis.
What a first inning. 4-0 Atlanta. Duffy back to work with Jace Peterson. Braves sent 9 to the plate.
Do it again.
Duffy, as Joe said, a 5th-round pick, went to Rice University. He was the MVP of the Conference USA Championship back in 2011. And after a very promising start for Minnesota, their pitching really collapsed. And it wasn't just Duffy. This was really their whole staff.
They weren't hitting at the beginning. And then when they started to hit, the pitching was gone.
And for a Minnesota club that went to the final weekend of regular season play before they were eliminated from postseason competition, that 0-9 start really was heartbreaking for the Twins fans. And they haven't recovered like the Braves. I mean, look, Freddie Gonzalez and Brian Snitker know all too well what Paul Molitor is going through right now. The Twins at 37-62. The Braves are at 34-66. Fly ball that's well hit toward left. That ball is off the end of the glove of Grossman. And Peterson's at second base to start the second inning. Goodness gracious, everything is getting hit right on the barrel.
Just getting smoked. What's the arm angle? When you can see the ball in the hand for that long, if you're a major league hitter, that's a good day.
Better for the lefties as opposed to the righties, or does it matter?
Yeah, probably. But again, that's such a huge batter's eye back there. Both sides should be able to pick it up pretty well, and apparently they are.
Beckham with a double, a run, and an RBI in his first at bat. And takes a strike. I know this is only the second time we've been to this ballpark. We were here in its inaugural season in 2010. You and I were talking on the bus ride over from the hotel. This one's in my top 3. I love everything about this place. Ground ball towards short. And Nunez with the scoop and throw makes the play to retire Beckham. 1 out.
I'd have to think about that. Certainly top 10 and maybe even top 5.
Great location on a tiny piece of real estate. They maximized every square inch of this place. It's an intimate ballpark. Feels big to me because it's below street level. Field of play, that is. Got the big stands in right center and the big 3-tiered set of stands in left.
They had to do that to squeeze left field stands inside the train tracks that feed the ballpark. And in some ways, it reminds me of the old Metropolitan Stadium in left field. It had a huge upper deck, second deck in left field. Yeah. Because they used it for football, and the lower section of stands would come sliding out.
A shot over Mauer's glove and into shallow right field. Here comes Peterson. He's getting green lighted. Throw to the plate again. Suzuki with the handle. Missed the tag. Jace got in ahead of the throw. It's 5-0.
You talk about some good base running. Jace had to freeze at second base to make sure that ball was going to get over Mauer's head. He couldn't break until it got over his glove. And then he made a great cut at third base. And the throw may have beaten him, but Suzuki couldn't find him. Just out of the reach of Mauer. Here comes the throw. Now watch Suzuki try to find him. Oh, he's already by me. What a slide, too. Great job.
Oh, yeah. Jace Peterson with a great slide and a fist pump, too. And the troubles for Tyler Duffy have continued tonight on his home mound. The Braves walloped him for 5 runs, 8 hits. He's done. Atlanta's in the Twins bullpen. Great start in Game 2 in Minneapolis. Nothing now. The Braves have chased Tyler Duffy, and now 6'7", 220-pound right-hander Michael Tonkin comes on for his 43rd game.
Michael Honky Tonkin. 58 strikeouts in 47 innings. Guy throws hard. 94 to 96 fastball, slider and a change. His job pretty simple. Pitch as long as you can tonight and try to hold the game as close as you can.
And that's the young lady who got plunked by the pop-up. She's got a bag of ice. She's got a souvenir baseball. And AJ Pierzynski, as you said, made a fan here in Minneapolis. Boy, Duffy, almost feel bad for the kid. 8 hits and 5 runs. He got just 4 outs tonight. So Tonkin, who was on the Minneapolis Rochester shuttle 5 times last year, made the opening day roster for the first time this year since 2014. He's out of Palmdale, California. Nick hit into a double play his first time up. He's behind the count here, and oh, Suzuki stretched out to make that play.
Almost dislocated his shoulder. Nick Markakis last 25 road games, 302 average, 4 homers, big RBI numbers, hitting on base a lot.
Runner goes, big jump. Suzuki's throw to second is going to be late. And the flying feet of Freddie Freeman put him at second base with his 4th steal. Remember, he's got 6 triples too.
Yeah, he's 4 for 4 in the SB column.
Markakis strikes out, 2 are outs. And here's Adonis. Garcia doubled to right center. Ball slingshots in for a strike. Twins bullpen's pitched very well here at home since the 1st of July. The sub-3 ERA. However, that is not the way they've pitched most of the season. Their relief corps has the 7th highest ERA in baseball, the 3rd highest in the American League, and the opposition is hitting .272 against their relievers.
That's why they don't have a very good record in those 1-run games. They've played a ton of them.
A swing and a foul tip is caught by Suzuki, and Garcia is retired for the first time. Atlanta adds another run. A great slide by Jace Peterson extends the Atlanta lead.
The Braves lead the Twins 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, and we showed you the former Twin AJ Pierzynski giving the fan a ball after she got hit in the head with the ball back behind home plate. Well, he was telling me yesterday that he is so fortunate and lucky to be brought up by the Twins. This is the team that drafted him out of high school. He said they ingrained in your mind to be fundamentally sound or you just want to come up. And he made a joke last night, that first AB, he did hear some cheers. He said it wasn't all booze, and we said moral victories for him, and you guys said it best. He has a new fan here in Minnesota.
You're right about this Twins organization too, Kelsey, and so is AJ, about their concentration on fundamentals at the grassroots of their organization. It's always been that way.
In many ways, when Tom Kelly was at the helm here and later Ron Gardenhire, this ball's popped up on the infield. Adonis in foul ground. AJ joins him at the on deck circle, and it hits the top of the camera. And then AJ yells at the cameraman, "Get that camera out of the way."
Here's the camera up, made his glove go up.
That's home field photography right there from our friends at Fox Sports North. A little pop by Brian Dozier into shallow right. Markakis near the line gets there and makes the play. But to finish the point, Tom Kelly, Ron Gardenhire. They ran their clubhouse, their team, a lot like Bobby Cox ran the Braves.
No doubt. No question they did. A lot of similarities to the whole organization. Twins to the Braves.
And that's why for Minnesota it was such a disappointment for so many people with this organization that Terry Ryan, after so many years serving as the GM, was dismissed here a couple of weeks ago. Began his career with the Twins in 1972 as a player and guided this club through some really rough times. In fact, you young fans, there was a time in Major League Baseball where the word contraction was bandied about as if to eliminate two major league teams, and the Twins were apparently one of those clubs. Well, Ryan guided them through that, came back after being an advisor, took over as the GM again, and they went to the final weekend, almost made the playoffs last year, but the horrible start and the high expectations forced the Pohlad family to make a change. Kenny Vargas is the Twins hitter and designated hitter. He's a man with a 4-game hitting streak. He has seen Foltynewicz before, and he's hit a home run against him. Line drive toward left, long run, and Peterson will play it on a hop. Vargas is the first Minnesota base runner with an opposite field single.
He's been impressive the last game and one at bat. He is a huge individual. I was walking to the bus last night with Lucas Harrell, who was talking about his start, and with Tyrell Jenkins. And Tyrell said that Vargas was his first strikeout in pro baseball. He was also the guy who hit his first home run against Tyrell Jenkins. Tyrell's first home run he gave up. And he said, I got to tell you, when I looked in at him and I realized this isn't high school. He said, he scared me to death. He said, literally. He said, I was scared on the mound. This guy was so huge. Look at him next to Freddie.
Well, I said last night, if the Vikings need offensive linemen to protect Teddy Bridgewater, they can just come over here. Fly ball center, and Ciarte drifts back. His first chance. And that takes care of Rosario. Back first is Vargas. 2 outs. Like the way Folty's pitching in this game. He's got a lead. He's not trying to strike everybody out. He's letting them put it in play.
He's throwing strikes primarily. Those 5 walks really took a toll on him at Coors Field.
This is Robbie Grossman. Grossman joined the Twins on May 20th. He was in the Indians system. He had a minor league opt-out that he exercised on May 16th. He's been an on-base machine with the Twins, and he's hit 6 homers for the Indians' division rivals.
He's hit a rough patch too, though. 3 for 18 with 8 strikeouts. Good pitch there. Didn't get the call, but that was a good spot.
And it seems, Joe, if there's a pitch that Mike doesn't get, it's that one. At the knees, bottom.
That breaking ball.
Strike zone.
Which is a hard pitch to lay off. Grossman was able to.
And Mike pops up his former Astros teammate. Adonis Garcia at third makes the play, and that retires the side. Mike is throwing lots of strikes. AJ Brzezinski makes a friend with the cameraman. Right in your living room. launches that one to straightaway center. That ball is gone. Jeff Francoeur launches a 2-run homer. Part of a 4-run first for the Braves, who enjoy a 5-0 lead after 2 innings.
6th homer, 27th and 28th RBIs.
Tonkin back to work after striking out the first 2 men assigned him in the 2nd inning. And that went over for a strike. It's an even count. It's one of the weird stats for the Braves, their struggles with the designated hitter. Look, we know the Braves aren't a huge power club. They're not going to hit a ton of home runs. But the men placed in the designated hitters role haven't done much offensively the last couple years, not just this season. And that's coming into today, as this one's blooped into shallow left, and it's going to drop in front of Grossman. Francoeur's 2 for 2.
Grossman broke back on that. That was a break for Jeff.
But that's an amazing number that we just had on the screen. In 5 years, a 180 average.
It's funny though, Chip, that when you play in the National League, you're used to playing defense. There might be some guys who are specialists coming off the bench to pinch hit who could fill that role in a better way. Some of the guys don't like to DH, you know, when you're used to playing every day, even though it might be a day off, like for Markakis yesterday, where you're just hitting, but they don't like it. There's no rhythm to what they're doing on the field.
Wasn't that something Chipper said? I don't think Chipper liked being a DH at all.
He didn't.
Our producer Brian Woodrum reminds us when we played the Blue Jays and Freddie Freeman got to DH, he didn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
Walking from one end of the dugout to the next.
Yeah, and trying to remind yourself, don't run on the field. You're not playing today.
But Jeff Francoeur, who probably had some DH experience with the Royals
and
Rangers, he's 4 for 9 with 2 homers as a DH this year for Atlanta, and 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, maybe we can get the Phillies to go along with that beginning tomorrow night. Just let Jeff DH.
I think the Phillies would be happy to have anything go their way. They got clobbered today. The Marlins beat them 11-1 down in Miami. Conley beat Eflin.
I like Conley. I know he has some games that are kind of crazy, but I sure like him.
Line drive, left center field. Diving catch and a beauty by Rosario.
What a play. Twins needed something good to happen. Rosario just made it happen right here. Extends out for that and hangs on. Played left field tonight. Buxton on the bench tonight, so Rosario moves to center.
Not sure if that young lady cheered or was busy checking her Instagram account.
The latter.
Five 0 Atlanta. The Braves have 9 hits. What a jump by Francoeur, and Suzuki won't bother to throw. No one even covered second base.
Nobody there.
That was easy pickings for Jeff. Halfway to second by the time the ball got to Suzuki, and a ground ball will get Francoeur to third. That'll cost the Braves a second out as AJ's frustrated. Body's 1 for 2, and Eric Ibar is coming up. How about that shot at third base that you just saw briefly? Jeff Francoeur's a big guy, 6'4", 225, right? Look at Sano,
He outweighs Jeff by 40 pounds at least.
Well, when these Twins hitters mature, and they've got a lot of 22, 21, 23-year-old kids, if they can get any pitching at all, look out.
Yeah, they're the youngest roster next to the Rays, I believe. Paul Molitor did a fabulous job with this team last year to keep them in contention so late.
But with young teams and young players, sometimes you wonder if the burden of expectation, when you have a surprising year like the Twins did last year, got to them in the early weeks.
Paul never managed anywhere until he got this job, like a lot of big league managers these days. And he's a Hall of Famer, a great player. Sometimes it's hard for those guys to have the patience it takes with a young team to hang in there, I'll say, and let them make their mistakes, let them get better on their own without having the expectations that they ought to be as good as he is. Not everybody can do that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That's what was said of Ted Williams, who managed a long time in the major leagues. That's why those guys were so great. Not that they didn't work hard, but their greatness came so easily to them they couldn't relate to players who struggled like they never did.
I had some great former players as hitting coaches that couldn't really teach it.
To center, Rosario is there, and that retires the side.
They get in the cage and show you, but they really couldn't break it down.
Mike Foltynewicz enjoys a 5-0 lead. Saturday, July 30th, get a 1991 worst to first NLCS replica ring. Don't miss out on this great collector's item. The Phillies are in town as the Braves celebrate the 25th anniversary of their World Series appearance against these Minnesota Twins. The alumni weekend this weekend. Just saw Greg Olson in the booth an inning ago or so. He's on his way to Atlanta. He'll be there along with so many other Braves greats.
Yeah, it's a long roster.
So we hope you'll make your plans to join us for all 4 games with the Phillies starting tomorrow night.
How about this tonight? 4 starts. He only got 5 runs of support while he was in the game, and he's already got 5 tonight.
Base hit to left. Kurt Suzuki, another name that's drawing a lot of interest with the shortage of quality big league catching at the deadline.
Let's go back to last night, shall we? Miguel Cabrera at about 101, 101 miles an hour, and Suzuki yanked one down the line for a double. He just turned on another high-octane heater and yanked it through the hole.
And he's playing a little bit banged up. You see that bandage on his chin. Suzuki, as Joe told us last night, caught a foul tip under the mask that required 8 stitches. He took a day off and he's back out there now. And that's high to Santana, the Twins right fielder tonight. 1 ball, no strikes. Twins haven't been able to keep this guy on the field. He's had a couple of hamstring issues. But when he's on, he can run. He's got 11 steals too.
Switch hitter, good speed, good defender. Like you said, just got to stay on the field. Twins have certainly had their share of that. They got Trevor Plouffe still on the DL. Phil Hughes, starting pitchers out. Their closers out. That's Glenn Perkins, the closer.
Yeah, we saw him a couple of years ago, and boy, is he good.
Yeah,
when he's right. Santana broke his bat, so he'll pick out a new one. As the count to him is 1-2. Last year, Santana made the Twins opening day roster for the first time. He was their opening day shortstop. 16 errors, though, in 91 games. Tonight he's playing the outfield. Popped up at third base, and Adonis Garcia puts the squeeze on that.
We've seen a lot of pop-ups already. Now that was a breaking ball or maybe a changeup, and Santana was out in front of that. But most of the others have been on fastballs that they're just late on, that are running in on their hands, and they can't get on top of the pitch. So good stuff tonight. Good movement. Working both sides of the plate for Foltynewicz.
And I think this is an interesting case study on how a pitcher manages that scoreboard. One of your 4 keys tonight. Don't look at it, whether you're trailing or you're ahead. I mean, he's not just laying fastballs in there and say hit them, but he is commanding the strike zone.
Yeah, I kind of call that the Wizard of Oz factor.
That's right. I forgot. As Nunez digs in and rolls that one foul.
Good off-speed pitch. 81-mile-an-hour slider.
Well, even though Mike walked 5 in his last start, as you said, the Rockies came away extremely impressed with Mike Foltynewicz. Walt Weiss was raving about how well he pitched against them in Atlanta and then again out in Denver. 0-2. Bouncer toward third foul.
Yeah, he still only gave up 3 runs, but it was one of those games where he didn't lose his composure, but he got frustrated with the walks and some blue pits, and it started to eat at him again. But he's working real hard to try to not let that enter into his mindset when he's pitching, where he doesn't get a call or gives up a cheap hit.
Line drive right. Markakis is there. And back to first is Suzuki. Nunez is 0 for 2. And again, here's Joe Mauer.
But we'll see how the second time through the order, if these guys are able to catch up to that fastball more often. That was a good swing on the pitch at 96.
Mauer bounced out to Freddie Freeman in the opening inning. Foltynewicz got the Twins in order in the first. He scattered 2 singles so far tonight.
Much like Carlos Gonzalez with the Rockies, we talked and showed you how he stands so far off the plate, invites you to pitch him away so he can extend his arms. Mauer's virtually the same way, but he doesn't have a wide open stance. Good job there of jamming him. And when you throw 97, you can do that. But he's inviting you to pitch the outer third, which they did on the first pitch, and he took it. This guy just, it's like you got to have a bullhorn to tell him to swing.
Sharply hit. That's through the right side. Suzuki will stop at second, and Mauer has his first hit of the series, and the Twins threaten here in the third inning.
Threw some top hand on that pitch. Wanted the pitch away, but it was up and in, actually. Got to be pretty good to handle that.
Mauer certainly is that. #1 overall pick by the Twins, hometown kid, MVP, batting champion, and a lifetime .313 average entering this season. He hasn't hit over 300, however, since 2013. Here's Miguel Sano. He bounced out to second. And no swing. This kid's 22, 6'4", 262 pounds. He's from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Signed by scout Fred Guerrero in 2009. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch, good choice. 97 fastball right before that. He swung right through, had a good hack at it. He wanted another fastball, but they didn't oblige. Now you've got some options. Waste a fastball. Looks like that might be what they're going to do. Let's see. Just missed.
Two and two. AJ, a nice block there, but now the count's full.
AJ letting everybody know in the infield that the runners will be running. May not have a force play at second on a ground ball, so knock it down, throw him out at first if you have to.
He went around, didn't get a slider. First strikeout for Mike Foltynewicz. It came at a great time. Twins are out. We head to the fourth. top moments in Turner Field history. With the trade deadline approaching, let's look back on another big deal between the Braves and Rangers. Mark Teixeira, acquired by Atlanta at the deadline in 2007, made quite the impact. He hit a homer in his first game at Turner Field. Mark hit .295 with 37 homers in 157 career games with the Braves. Here's to 20 years, brought to you by Synovus, the bank of here.
You know, it sometimes I think gets overlooked that he made as good an impression and was as valuable to the Braves as when Fred McGriff was acquired. I mean, did a lot of the same things with power, RBIs, just what the Braves needed. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to re-sign him.
Mark ended up with the Yankees, where he's still playing today. And in case you missed the start of our broadcast, the Braves pulled off another deal with Texas earlier today. Lucas Harrell and Dario Alvarez were sent to the Rangers for 21-year-old infielder Travis Demeritte, who's out of Winder, Georgia, in between Atlanta and the classic city of Athens, Georgia.
I'm excited about this player they acquired. And you can see on the face of John Coppola that he was very excited too, because some of what has been laid, the groundwork that's been laid for using some of this pitching, as he calls it, currency.
This guy toward left and into the seats.
Is coming around. They got a player that's a second baseman that already has 25 home runs this year. 6 feet 180. Was a first-round pick, 30th pick of the 13 draft.
That's over the outside corner. Peterson's retired for the first time. That's Tonkin's third strikeout in the game. One away.
I asked John before the game, why would the Rangers be so willing to give up a guy that was a first-round draft pick just 3 years ago? And he said, well, for them, one of the reasons is that's a position of depth for them. They've got a ton of middle infielders in the Texas organization, not just at the big league level. So they were dealing from a position of strength. But also because the value of starting pitching is extremely high right now.
Well, and that's where I think the Braves organization deserves a ton of credit. We don't know how this trade's going to turn out. Certainly the opportunity to pick up a former #1 pick for Dario Alvarez, who pitched great in Atlanta but was a cast-off by the Mets, and Lucas Harrell, who was with I think 3 different organizations including Atlanta this year, and came to the big leagues and threw great in 3 of his 5 games.
Got released out of Double-A.
So Roger McDowell here, the Braves farm system at Triple-A. The job that those guys collectively did to polish up Alvarez and Harrell and trade them for something of greater value down the road is, I think, a great story for John Coppola.
I think it is too. And some of these acquisitions and signings, that was the design when he first had them put on a Braves uniform, was that some of them hopefully would play well enough by the trading deadline that you would get something back for them. Now it remains to be seen between now and Monday if there's going to be more, but there are some guys that are rumored to be offered and have some interest from other ball clubs, so we'll see how that all plays out. Bud Norris was the first guy, and now a nice deal today that I'm fired up about.
And I really liked your point that you made earlier. We've talked in this series, and I did just a moment ago with Kurt Suzuki. Catching is almost impossible to find except for a very high price. Pitching is exorbitantly expensive, but power, there's so little power available either via draft or trade to get a kid with this kind of power potential as a 22-year-old kid.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
I don't know the answer to this, so I'm going to guess. I don't know that there's anybody in the Braves minor league organization that has as many as 15 home runs.
I think you're right. I think he becomes
let alone 25,
the top power guy anywhere.
So that's impressive. Plus the fact that he played in the Futures game before the All-Star game out in San Diego. He played in the Futures game and was the second baseman to Dansby Swanson, who was the shortstop.
So there's some familiarity between those two
Georgia guys.
Now let's also fill in the blanks on Travis. there's an 80-game PED suspension that took place last year. In everything that I've read in the brief time that we had the opportunity to do so before the game, Travis was extremely contrite. He owned it. He did not run away from it. He admitted the mistake. He went all over the country to restart his big league career. Went to the Dominican Republic while he was suspended and got at bats there. Played baseball in Australia to work on his swing. And all reports from the Texas Rangers that I read said that for them it was a closed issue. But it is something that's on the resume, and hopefully it's not something obviously that would be repeated.
Let's hope not. But you know he's got to be fired up.
Oh, that's what somebody said. I think it was Bert Blyleven on the Twins side of the broadcast booth. He came into our booth and said, "What are you guys doing? You cornering all the Atlanta kids? What's the deal? The Georgia guys."
We'll take them.
Yeah.
Braves will take every Georgia kid. He's the Hall of Famer.
What a nice man.
Yeah. What a pitcher.
A high towering fly ball to center. That ball's got a chance. That ball is gone. A majestic home run for Freddie Freeman to straightaway center. Another 2-run homer for the Braves. And Freeman is 3 for 3.
I'll tell you something, folks. This isn't Coors Field, and 2 long home runs to center field here is very rare in one game. And that thing was as high as the lights out there above the left field stands.
So 18 homers for Freeman. He's knocked in 4 of Atlanta's 7 runs tonight. And the Braves have jumped out to a 7-0 lead. There have not been many games like this for Atlanta this year.
Or for either manager, Freddie or Brian, where they could just kind of breathe a little bit and enjoy it.
Nick Markakis and Eric Aybar are the only Braves without a hit yet. Folks, we're in the 4th inning.
I asked Nick also about the reputation this ballpark had as a pitcher's ballpark, and he said it is early and it is late, but when it warms up, pretty good place to hit.
And I'd mentioned the small footprint of Target Field. Some fans corrected me. It's not a 12-acre site. It's 8.5 acres.
No kidding.
The smallest big league ballpark footprint in the game. Smaller than Fenway or Wrigley. Somehow, some way. And out of play foul.
I know this. Those seats you pointed out to me yesterday out in deep center above the out-of-town scoreboard. You better have carabiners. To come down those steps.
I ain't going up there.
Boy, oh boy.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a job for Kelsey.
That is some pretty steep territory right there.
Can't you just see in the early part of the year a Twins fan up there with one of those fur caps? Big
a flask.
Yep, fuzzy boots, a flask, and walleye on a stick. Screaming, "Circle me, Bert, and let's go Twins." Great place to see a game. Good fans up here too. Very friendly. They've had some great players in the history of this franchise as Nick is down on strikes. That's the 2nd out of the inning. And I believe that might be the end of the line for Tonkin. Trevor May was up and throwing. It is Paul Molitor coming out, and he's going to point to the bullpen
as Tonkin surrenders a Freddie Freeman home run into the grass in straightaway center. Ball is still there, and so is the Atlanta lead. It's 7-0.
Sponsored by Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Braves train left the station early and often here at Target Field. 7-0. Braves have hit two two-run homers, one by Jeff Francoeur, one by Freddie Freeman. And here we are through 100 games in 2016. Let's compare the Braves today as to where they stood after 100 in 2015.
You know, there's a lot of similarities. The one thing that surprised me was the home runs. The Braves this year have actually hit one more home run through 100 games than they did last year. Starters ERA is up about a half a run. 10 more errors. That's not a good sign. But some of the things, even though the Braves got off to such a great start last year, kind of surprised me how even they were.
Third pitcher of the night is on for Minnesota. Trevor May, former Philly. Twins got him in a deal for Ben Revere after the 2012 season.
Ton of strikeouts. Breaking ball. Fastball low to mid 90s. Good curveball. That may have been that last pitch. Slider and a change. 4 pitches.
May pitched in 48 games for the Twins last year, the 7th most appearances by an American League rookie. Started 16 games, won 8, lost 9. And another base hit by Adonis Garcia.
Keep swinging it.
Garcia 4 for 7 in the series now, and 15 hits in his last 36 at bats. And here's Jeff Francoeur. Jeff's 2 for 2.
He's another big guy, 6'5", 240.
Got a question for you.
Fire away.
You've seen all the highlights from games in Texas, right? Rangers home ballpark. Somebody hits a home run to center field on the berm. What happens?
Fans race out there and get it.
Right. Now Freddie Freeman hit a home run in this inning, and the ball just stuck. It's still out there. I think Francoeur's might be out there too in the right corner. So what's up with that?
Limited access.
I mean, mean, surely someone from the grounds crew could go out there and get it, right?
Well, it's like the old net at Fenway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, they got to collect them after the game. Send somebody up the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, it would be problematic if a fan tried.
That would, I don't know where they'd come from. Have to rappel down from those seats above the limestone in center.
Jeff didn't get it, and May retires him for the first time. More production from the Atlanta offense. Freddie Freeman hit a rainbow shot to straightaway center, a mile high, a mile deep, and it's stuck. We're through 3.5. It is all Atlanta in game 2.
As we head to the bottom of the 4th, and we have been telling you about this trade. I want to reiterate again, the players that were traded from the Braves weren't here 9 weeks ago. They were new to this organization. The Braves were able to bring in arguably their best power hitting prospect in the organization. And something Brian Snitker said that really stood out to me was that I asked him, is it easier to tell a guy that they've gotten traded or sent down? And he said, well, this one was easy because these two guys who he really liked, they're going for a team that can play in the World Series. And when a team like that wants you, that's really exciting for them. So he's excited for everybody involved.
There's a base hit by Dozier to start the 4th inning, and he'll glide into second base to start the inning for Minnesota. I'll put it in TV show terms. You ever watch the show Overhauling? Somebody will bring in like a 1968 Camaro or a Mustang, a little rough around the edges, a little rust, but good engine. Then Chip Foose and the guys polish it up, put the cool wheels on, put a new engine in it, and then the owner drives away with a great vehicle. It's kind of what the Braves did.
Well, I'm like what Brian said. I agree with him that the excitement.
Looper towards second, and Beckham is there. That takes care of Vargas for the first out.
The excitement of going to a ball club that's in contention, especially a first place team. Think of where Harrell and Alvarez have come from this year alone. That's a wonderful tip of the cap to them for the perseverance and the work they put in.
And obviously the way Lucas pitched last night, Kelsey, and with the deadline approaching and everyone in baseball looking for starting pitching, this had to be a bittersweet moment for Lucas Harrell when you talked to him before the game.
He loves.
Well, like we said at the beginning of the game, if he goes 2 2/3 and gives up 5 runs last night, this doesn't happen. He needed a good outing and had one.
Swing and a drive. That's hammered toward the scoreboard. That ball is off the scoreboard. It dies on the warning track. Dozier will score easily. And Rosario with a laser beam puts the Twins on the board. 2 doubles in the inning. It's now a 7-1 game. That ball jumped toward right center field. His 10th two-bagger of the year.
He had a good swing on a fastball earlier tonight. And he got one in that he dropped the barrel on. High wall saved him. Saved Foltynewicz.
17 RBIs for Rosario. Here's Grossman and foul back. So Kelsey, was Lucas Harrell surprised, happy, disappointment? What were his emotions after the trade was announced about 4:30 this afternoon?
Well, it was really ironic because last night after the game when we spoke to him, he told us how much he loves Atlanta and how special he thinks what they're rebuilding it's going to be here and that he wants to be a part of that. He gets in here today and finds out that he got traded. So he walks in and he's shaking hands and he talks to us, and I asked him, I was like, what are you feeling right now? And he's like, well, at first you're sad because these are my boys. He was like, these are my friends. I've made some great friends in this clubhouse, but then you get excited because you realize you're going to a team like the Rangers. He's getting reunited with his old pitching coach from the Astros, and it's just an exciting but bittersweet moment for him because he doesn't want to say goodbye to these guys, and he thinks the Braves is a first-class organization, and he appreciates the opportunity he's been given. But whenever you realize that a team that is in contention wants you in their rotation, that's something to be happy about.
Well, there's no doubt that the Texas Rangers need all the pitching help they can get after Hamels and Darvish. So we wish Lucas all the best, and to Dario Alvarez as well. Runner at third after the wild pitch.
The scuttle we got was that there were teams already interested in Lucas after a couple of starts when he looked so good. Then he had a couple of rough outings, so it may have been that they were just waiting to see if he was going to be able to return to form, which he certainly did last night. Dario Alvarez, I think he was still at 2 strikeouts an inning, but he was close to it.
Texas trying to hold off Houston in the AL West as Foltynewicz dropped a beautiful breaking ball on Grossman for his 2nd strikeout. He is not just throwing 98 miles an hour. This kid is pitching now.
Well, it's like you said, Chip, he's had this big lead, so there's no reason to go out there and try to max effort everything. I tell you, AJ did a great job getting that strike for him.
A pair of doubles, now 2 outs, and here's Suzuki. As you said, Suzuki can hit anybody's fastball, and he just launched that one to left. Jace Peterson back to the wall. It is gone. Suzuki ambushed the first pitch, and the Twins have a 3-run fourth.
Proverbial hanging slider. Stayed right in the middle of the plate. 13th home run allowed by Foltynewicz, 10 of them on the road. Look at that hit out there.
That fan's hat. And we're told that the bushes are in the home run zone. Does not have to go over that fence, so the fans can reach over. And that's exactly what happened there. And Suzuki's 6th homer cuts the Braves lead now to 7-3. This will be a sign of maturity for Mike. Let's see how he responds after Suzuki homered. 1-2 the count. A cue shot right back to the mound, and with a bare hand, Foltynewicz makes the play, and that retires the side. 3 runs on 3 extra base hits. Kurt Suzuki with a homer to left, and after 4, it's 7-3 now. tighter ball game now. Mike Foltynewicz gave up a pair of doubles and a Suzuki homer on the hanging slider. So Atlanta starts over with Inciarte, A.J. Brzezinski, and Eric Aybar.
Ender got robbed his last time up. Great play by Rosario in center. He's hit an 8 straight now with a single in the first.
And fouled at the plate for an even count. As we said, Braves are home for the Phillies. A 4-game series kicks off tomorrow night. Matt Whistler and Aaron Nola get things started at Turner Field. Terrell Jenkins and Vince Velasquez on Friday night, 7:35 the start time there. Saturday, Julio Teheran and Jeremy Hellickson, unless he's traded. And Sunday, a pitcher yet to be determined for the Braves. That was going to be Lucas Harrell and Jared Eichhoff.
Yeah, there's speculation that it could be one of two people. Could be Casey Kelly, who we've seen this year and who's had a couple of starts, real good starts back to back. Rob Whalen's been real good lately at Gwinnett as well.
Aaron Blair is pitching tonight down at Gwinnett. They're facing the Indianapolis Indians. Ryan Vogelsong, by the way, is pitching in that game. Remember, Ryan Vogelsong was hit by a pitched ball and suffered some facial fractures earlier this year.
Right.
And so Vogelsong's beginning to make his way back to the Pittsburgh club.
Good for him. It's good news.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And popped down the left field line and into the seats.
You know, you mentioned and talking a lot about Alumni Weekend and how fun it is. I already mentioned that there's a long roster of guys that are coming in. The Phillies are coming in, and our old pal Larry Anderson, who's a broadcaster for the Phillies, will be there. I'm just wondering how many of those alumni hit home runs off Larry.
Well, that's why we invited him.
Have to be 10 or 15, 20. Maybe all of them.
Let's see if we can. I've got the roster right here. First, the 1-2 pitch. Well, you know, Dale Murphy had to get Larry a couple of times, right?
Mm-hmm. You just say the name and I'll say yes or no.
Okay. Alejandro Pena.
Probably.
Brian Hunter.
Oh, definitely.
Brian Jordan.
Definitely.
Ground ball toward first. Joe Mauer is going to get there first. There's the first out. Dwight Smith.
Yes.
Francisco Cabrera, folks, is going to be there.
Oh, that's great.
25th anniversary of 91 year. Jeff Treadway.
Yes.
Luis Gomez.
Louis was kind of a light hitting guy. Yes.
Mark Lemke.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Mike Bell.
Yep.
Ralph Garr.
I don't know if Ralph. Yeah, Larry's pretty old. Yep.
You know, Sid Bream probably stole second on him too,
yeah,
right?
So I think we've gotten about 15 already. So.
And as Lindsey Nelson said, due to the constraints of time, we move ahead to the rest of the alumni scheduled to appear. Bobby Cox will be there. Jim Nash, Ken Daly, Rob Belwa. Remember Rob Belwa?
Betcha.
Ground ball by A.J. Fowl. Wes Helms will be there. Wes, by the way, coached or managed the Under Armour game at Wrigley Field. I think Tim Hudson was his pitching coach. So it should be a great weekend as the Braves celebrate the 1991 club. AJ swung and missed at that. There'll be autograph stations set up on Friday from 5:30 to 6:30. Gates open at 5, so we encourage you to get there early. There'll be a pregame ceremony recognizing all the alumni with a 7:35 first pitch. Saturday, it's the Braves Legends softball game. That's always fun. That's at 5:15 Saturday night. It's the Braves legends of the 1991 club facing all the other alumni. And then a great pregame ceremony honoring that 1991 National League Championship team. And again on Sunday, the day game, more autograph sessions all around the ballpark. AJ chased a couple of pitches out of the zone that time, and he's going to make Suzuki throw him out at first, and then he makes a U-turn. 2 quick outs. So May has his second punch out. Here's Ibar 0 for 2.
Wow, from the truck. Little background on the home run thing, and you said surely Dale Murphy hit one off Larry.
Yeah.
Larry gave up more homers to Dale Murphy than any other player.
Come on.
3.
Really? Well, I hope everybody at the Tavern at Phipps tells Larry all about that tonight as he watches the game. And a strike over the inside corner. Braves have hit a couple of homers tonight. Jeff Francoeur, part of a 4-run first. Atlanta got a single run in the second. Freeman hit a 2-run homer in inning number 4. In fact, Freddie's knocked in 4 of the 7 runs all by himself. Minnesota scored 3 in the 4th inning. Suzuki with a 2-run shot.
Scouting reports checking out May.
Popped up and just out of reach. And Ibar didn't get it. He's pitched impressively. He has faced 5 men. He has struck 3 of them out. And this game heads to the home 5th. Enough to have an off day here in Minneapolis, and we spent some time at the Bryant Lake Bowl. What a cool place. A little speakeasy and a 6 or 7 lane bowling alley. Well, it's 8 actually. Our crew only needed lane 6 and 7, Joe, and we had a great time.
That looks like a heck of a lot of fun.
It was really cool.
And good nachos, huh?
Oh. In fact, I could take a few plates of those home. Neat place. So if you make your way to Minneapolis, you get to spend some time downtown. That is a don't miss destination. As Mike Foltynewicz starts the 5th, and a bouncing ball is ruled foul.
He could use an easy inning.
Yeah.
6 batters last inning, 5 the inning before that. No 1, 2, 3 innings since the first.
And there is some thunder in this lineup, so still got to pitch and pitch smart, as that one's way foul by Nunez. And the count 1-2.
And there's some more thunder in the forecast too later tonight. Need to make this game official and move on.
Line drive, center field, a base hit. So that's 3 straight innings that the Twins have put their leadoff man on. And Mike will have to go back to the stretch with Joe Mauer coming up next. Mentioned it last night. If you didn't see the broadcast and wonder why Mauer's playing first base and you don't follow the Twins, concussions 3 years ago really wrecked his career from a catching standpoint. He's still a terrific hitter, but as I said, he has not hit 300 in the major leagues in 3 seasons, and this was at the time of his catching apex. This is a guy that was flirting with a 400 batting average behind the plate. Tonight Mauer entered play at 258.
It was a shame how that all caught up to him.
In 2009, get this, Mauer played 138 games. Catcher, 365 average, 28 homers, 96 driven, and he scored 94. And a line drive to left. That's going to get down. Peterson on the running track, cuts it off. The throw came into Ibar, and Mauer slides in safely with a double. He doesn't hit a ton of home runs anymore, but he can hit the ball line to line when he wants, and he's done that a couple of times tonight.
Well, I know he pulled the ball his last time up, but this is his bread and butter. Fastball outer third of the plate and up, where he only had to do his level off on it. That's Joe Mauer right there.
So all of a sudden, this game's getting a little too close for comfort. It was 7-0. Twins scored 3 in the 4th. They threaten again here in the 5th. We have not yet seen the blistering Foltynewicz fastball. Seen a few of them. This will be a good time to use it to get Sano if he can. And that one at 97, and it missed. 1 ball, no strikes.
Got it with a breaking ball and a changeup last time up with runners on base.
That ricochets off the facing of the press box, and Mike's ahead 1-2.
And that appeared to be a good spot, good location. Tied him up, couldn't get his bat out there quick enough.
Two and 2 your count. Bouncing ball the other way, a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Mauer. He's going to score, and the Twins are right back in this game. Sano with an opposite field hit drives home 39 and 40 in the RBI column, and it's now 7-5.
Remember his first time up, he bounced one up the middle and it was right to Gordon Beckham. This time he hits it right where the second baseman normally plays, and it's a 2-run single. It came on a 1-2 count. This trip by Roger to try to calm him down, but also to give the bullpen a chance to get busy.
Mike was shaking his head an awful lot after the 4th inning. 3 straight hits have greeted it here in the 5th. And now he's got Dozier up, who doubled and scored the first run. Remember, the Braves bullpen is a man short after the deal with Texas. They've got Ian Kroll getting ready in a hurry. Dozier with a 5-game hit streak. Didn't get a breaking ball.
If you weren't with us last night, this guy, dead pull hitter, outside of the infield, even in a situation like this, double play ball, still got Beckham up the middle on him.
Popped up. Gordon drifts out. Markakis comes in and calls off the Braves second baseman. There's an all-important first out. Now a double play could end the inning. Here's Kenny Vargas, the DH.
Benefit of the doubt there. Again, AJ helping him up to get that call.
Ripped foul past first.
Ooh. And that was where they wanted it. I mean, that was in. It may have been in off the plate, and he still turned on it. Another big, strong man. Target in. Pitch was in.
Butch Davis had to look alive as that one's cut on and missed. Big strikeout for Foltynewicz, his 3rd of the game. 2 are out in the inning. First time he got Vargas to swing and miss. Here's Rosario. An RBI double plated the first Twins run, and then he scored ahead of Suzuki's home run to left. Twins lineup, as you can tell, has a Latin American flavor. 2 of their scouts, Hector Otero and Fred Guerrero, responsible for signing many of these Twins starters. And for a small market team like Minnesota, they have to be aggressive in that international market. They'll sign them young and teach them how to play the Twins way and hope they can star in the big leagues.
You know, this is where David Ortiz started.
And a strike.
And years ago in interleague play, when the Braves were playing the Twins over at the Metrodome, I remember Ortiz pinch hitting and making it out in that game. He was a former MVP.
Bouncing ball right side. Freeman's got it. He'll throw to second. And that will end the Twins rally. The speech by Roger McDowell paid dividends. Foltynewicz got the next 3 hitters. It's now a 7-5 game after 5. Park, we are through 5 innings. Joe, time for our Chevrolet game summary.
Well, the summary really started in the first inning. The Braves put 4 runs on the board, highlighted by Jeff Francoeur's 6th home run of the year. 4 runs on 6 hits. So the offense is engaged tonight. Freddie Freeman also with a big night, 3 for 3 with a homer. And Mike Foltynewicz, as it's turned out, has needed them because he shut him out for 3 innings. But 3 runs in the 4th, 2 in the 5th have made it a ball game again.
And the Braves will take aim at the 4th Twins pitcher of the night. Young man from Braves country in Huntsville, Alabama. This is left-hander Buddy Boshears out of Lee High School and Calhoun Community College.
Fastball, slider, change, fastball, low 90s.
This is a young man who started his professional career in the Angels organization. Last year pitched with the Somerset Patriots of the Independent League.
Wow.
And here he is back in the show with the Minnesota Twins.
Impressive.
Peterson, Beckham, and Freeman, and hopefully more to follow here in the 6th. Fly ball, pretty well hit. Grossman going back to the track, and he's there for the first out. So Jace is 1 for 3 with a couple of runs. Here's Gordon Beckham. He's 1 for 2 with a couple of runs.
This guy hadn't been out there in 10 days. Last worked on the 17th at home against the Yankees. And I take it back. He did pitch at Boston. Only 4 days rest.
But 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs against Boston up at Fenway Park. And he's greeted rudely by Gordon Beckham, who tries to split a gap in left center. Gordon's going to try. Here comes the throw. The relay is not in time. Nunez fielded that ball and tried to flip to Dozier. And by the time the ball got there, Beckham tumbled in with his 2nd double of the game.
Having a good night, and again, Gordon was due a good night. Rosario, 15 assists last year from the outfield for the Twins. Has a good arm, but couldn't get anything on this throw. And And the only chance they had was for the relay.
That was a heck of a job to make it as close as it was.
Nice slide by Gordon too.
Perfect night for Freeman. 3 for 3 with a homer and 4 RBIs. He didn't swing. 1 ball, no strikes. Freddie now with 18 homers and 40 knocked in. Need to keep adding on. Twins have scored the last 5 runs in the game. Swing, fly ball, pretty well hit. That ball is up off the wall. Here comes Beckham around third. The throw's coming into second. Nobody covered. And all hands are safe. Freddie Freeman is 4 for 4 with 5 RBIs, and Atlanta extends the lead again. Forget the miseries of Coors Field for Freddie Freeman. We're going to have to drag him kicking and screaming out of Minneapolis tonight.
Boy, he hooked this one too. A breaking ball that he went out around. Not a bad pitch. Looked like Suzuki was shifting out to take that pitch off the plate. Pretty nice job there by Santana to take the ball off the wall so it didn't get by him. Then he just turned and threw it, and nobody knew where he was throwing it.
So a huge night for Freddie Freeman. This is the 5th 5 RBI game in Freddie's career. Roller to the right side. That'll get the runner to third. Markakis is the second out. And now a couple of righties. Garcia and Francoeur are coming up. Adonis has 2 hits. Francoeur has 2 hits.
Let's see how selective he is here.
He grounds right side. Dozier, nice pick, and the throw to first will retire the side. Atlanta adds on a run. Freddie Freeman with a career high tying 5 RBI night, and we're only in the 6th. The 6th inning in Minnesota. Braves offense got one of those Twins runs back. See if Mike can have an easy inning. He gives up a fly ball to center, and it's going to drop for a leadoff hit.
Let's keep an eye on Mike this inning because those two pitches were thrown in a span of about 6 seconds. Let's see if he gets in a big hurry again. He kind of loses his rhythm.
That's exactly what happened to Mike in his first start for the Braves up in New York when he gave up all those first inning home runs and was throwing a pitch about every 12-13 seconds. This is something Mike, as you said, is aware of. He knows he's got to work on it. This would be a good time to take care of business. Suzuki's hit him twice, a single and a homer.
Fourth straight inning with a leadoff hit.
Suzuki didn't get the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And now Mauricio Cabrera joins Ian Kroll in the Braves bullpen. Two balls, 2 strikes for Suzuki. Santana's on deck. Colorado won tonight. They beat Baltimore again 3-1. John Gray was victorious, beat Dylan Bundy at Camden Yards. Rockies are hanging in the wild card race. Popped up on a play foul. I believe they're 6 back at the start of play tonight.
Suzuki connected here on a hanging slider. Nice easy swing. The ball jumped right into the hedge.
He's got that axe-handled bat, and it's made a big difference for him. 24 RBIs in his last 32 games. And this one's blooped towards second. And Suzuki's retired for the first out of the inning. Gordon might have had a thought of letting that ball drop.
That ball had some life on it. That was chasing the thumbs of Suzuki. Target in. Not anything he could do with that.
So there's the first out. Now a ground ball could get you out of the inning. Santana has popped out and tapped back to the mound. Out of play. It'll sound funny to say in a game where he's given up 5 runs and 10 hits, but Mike's had pretty good command tonight. Again, he hasn't walked anybody.
Maybe too good. But with a 7-0 lead that he enjoyed, he was trying to throw more strikes.
Foltynewicz this year 2-0 against the American League. 17 strikeouts, no walks to this point. Mike's trying to even his record at 4 wins and 4 losses. That ball died at the plate, and Santana couldn't resist. 1-2.
He's thrown some good changeups tonight. That was one.
Ground ball right side. Beckham gloves and lost the handle. It just shot out of the webbing of the glove. And a big break for the Twins. 2 on with 1 out. And now we go back to the top of the order, and Nunez is up representing the tying run.
Yeah, trying to make the transfer, but the ball was way out in the web of his glove. You can see the ball there. So it was like a cesta highlight. It just came shooting out of there.
Well, Mike needs to get Nunez here. You've got Mauer on deck. Nunez with a single and a run scored. Twins were down 7-0. It's now 8-5 Atlanta. And Nunez has some pop too. He's hit 12 homers. Out of play, strike 1. That's slicing toward the seats, and Nunez down to his last strike. Looping liner over short, in for a hit. Here comes Grossman around third. Peterson overran the ball. Everybody moves up 90 feet. It's 8-6. And now Joe Mauer is coming up, and Brian Snitker will go get Mike Foltynewicz.
Jace overran that one, overcharged it, thinking he might have a play at the plate. But the key there was to keep the double play in order and let the ball get by him.
So the last 3 innings were rough ones for Foltynewicz. The Twins have scored 6, and they're in business with 1 out. Cleanly, had he done so, the double play might have remained in order.
Here's where he turned on the juice, and he looked up just before he picked the ball up. He took his eye off of it, thinking he might have a play at the plate, and that boot allowed a fast runner to get into second base, who represents the tying run.
Now Ian Kroll is in the game. This is Ian's 4th appearance on the road trip. He He's allowed 3 runs, 6 hits in 2+ innings in those outings. 1 against the Reds, 2 against the Rockies. And now Joe Mauer stands in the way. And out of play, strike 1 to Mauer at 94 miles an hour.
Lefty's hitting .250 against Kroll. Mauer hitting .220, 2 homers against left-handed pitching. Naturally, you'd love a strikeout, but as you see the splits on Mauer, as clutch as he's been his entire career, you'd be happy giving up a run for an out here and make it a 2-out inning.
Bouncing ball right side, that will get a run home. The flip to the pitcher covering. Scoring on the play is Santana, and who would have thought? We've got a 1-run game now. It's 8-7 Atlanta. Nunez to third base, and 2 are out. So Kroll got Mauer to roll out. Give Mauer his first RBI of the game. And Kroll will be taken down as the Braves will go righty-righty with Sano.
But it's better than a 2-run single from Joe Mauer. So hopefully Sano can be retired and get out of the inning.
July 31st at Turner Field. This ticket package will include a Braves lunchbox and access to a pregame party with games and prizes. Visit Braves.com/back-to-school-bash today. The final game of our series with the Phillies. 8-7. And Mauricio Cabrera is on to face Miguel Sano, who singled home 2 runs in his last at bat.
Only the 3rd time this month that Cabrera has worked in back-to-back games. He pitched an inning last night, gave up a hit, struck out 2.
So all that talk about relaxing after a 7-0 lead, that's out the window.
Yep.
Dogfight on our hands. It's 8-7. And a strike to Sano. Triple digits on that one. 101 on the stadium radar gun. And just like that, Mauricio's ahead 0-2.
As we have seen, you don't have to throw Sano a strike to get an out here, but last time up he was behind in the count, got too good a pitch to hit, and bounced one to the right side for 2-run single.
And Gordon's playing on the first base side of second base as a result. Mike Foltynewicz wants Nunez stranded at third. That happened 3 times last night. If that does happen, he'll have a chance to win the game. Swing and a miss. Powder River, 101 miles an hour. Cabrera slams the door. 8-7 Atlanta. Jeff Francoeur will be the DH. He'll lead off the 7th in a 1-run Atlanta lead. In Minneapolis with my partner Joe Simpson and Kelsey Wingert. Chip Carey with you. It's 8-7. Jeff Francoeur got the party started for the Braves in the first inning.
A 1-iron rocket out of here. A low line drive, 400 feet plus. Those were the 3rd and 4th runs of the inning. Big start for the Braves. They had a 7-0 lead.
And now they'll take aim at Taylor Rogers.
Look at that walks to strikeout ratio, 4-35. 91-94 fastball and curve.
And right there for Jeff to start inning number 7.
Twins also have 4 lefties in their bullpen. The Braves did before today.
Swing and a miss. (19) career appearances on his home mound. Taylor Rogers is 3-0 with an 0.92 ERA. He's only walked 1 man in his career at home. And the only 2 runs he gave up came on 2 solo homers. Out of the University of Kentucky. And Francoeur just got caught looking.
There's that hook.
And here's the start to the 7th. Strike 3 call.
Might have gotten a break. But that never got to the plate, but a strikeout call nonetheless. Tonkin came in and struck out 4 in 2 1/3. May struck out 3 in an inning and a third.
Well, the man that started was Tyler Duffy, and he got just creamed. 8 hits, 5 runs in an inning and a third. Tonkin, May, Bashirs, and now Rogers. I would imagine this is not the funnest of at-bats for a left-hand hitter.
Unless you look for that breaking ball. He's thrown it twice in a row.
Breaking ball again. This time Dozier to his right. 2 out. Here's AJ. He has a double in 3 trips.
You look at that walk to strikeout ratio, you got to figure this guy's going to be around the plate. You're probably going to get something to hit every at bat.
That one's cued down the line. And AJ will head back. Well, Rogers was a starting pitcher most of the time in the minor leagues. 37-28 record, a 3.29 career minor league ERA. 85 starts, 92 games. Very nearly a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Give up a lot of home runs. 500 innings plus, only 26 homers. And cued right back to the mound, and the Littleton, Colorado native works a very impressive top of the 7th inning. Momentum is in the Twins dugout right now, but the lead belongs to the Braves at the stretch. It's 8-7. Will come to town a little bit wounded too. Peter Bourjos hurt his shoulder, robbing Ichiro Suzuki of a hit in the game yesterday. And when we last saw the Phillies, Bourjos might have been the hottest hitter in the league. So we'll see if he's good to go in game 1 tomorrow night. Mauricio Cabrera will work the 7th, and that one over the head of Brian Dozier. And a very wild ball 1 pitch.
Loose. moved up to the top of the list.
Well, when you move from the American League to the National League, you lose 0.5 mile an hour every now and then. As Chase Peterson takes care of Dozier for out number 1. Might see Aroldis Chapman tonight. Cubs are beating the White Sox at Wrigley 4-1. That game's in the 8th inning. The White Sox won the first 2 games of the Crosstown Classic played at U.S. Cellular Field. 2 up, 2 down for Cabrera. That's the first out here in the 7th. And here's Vargas. Vargas extended his hitting streak with a 2nd inning single.
First time in a long time to get the first batter out in an inning.
Go all the way back to the 2nd inning for that to have happened. Like Mike Foltynewicz, who gave up 7 runs, 12 hits, and 5 1/3 tonight. But he could still win the game. Swing and a miss. Vargas is retired on strikes for the 2nd straight at bat.
Tell you what, now this changeup is coming along. He's had a good breaking ball that I call a curve. I think he calls it a slider. But this is a 92-mile-an-hour changeup that's got some sinking action on it.
When you throw 101 and then 92, and you've got that 86, 87 mile an hour slider that he can change speeds with. What an arsenal that is.
Good weapons.
He's always had that. I mean, it is nice and easy at 100 miles an hour. Eddie Rosario is 1 for 3 playing center field tonight and couldn't get that one.
Shook him off. Come back with some cheese and ways to pitch. Not a bad thought. Stay with it.
1-2. And fouled away. Twins will be in action tomorrow as well. They have a home game, a makeup game with the Baltimore Orioles. Kyle Gibson will pitch for the Twins. Ubaldo Jimenez, who's back from the paternity list, will pitch for the O's. Atlanta trying to sweep the Twins with a win tonight. Good at bat.
That was an interesting sequence there. AJ put down changeup, he shook him off. AJ put down fastball, he shook him off. AJ went back to fastball, he said okay.
One, two.
good job of spoiling some 101-mile-an-hour pitches.
Didn't want the change, wants the heat. 1-2. Ground ball sneaks through. That was a heck of an at-bat. Rosario pulled a fastball through the hole on the right side. He's 2 for 4 and represents the tying run.
But the difference again, Chip, when you see a guy throw that hard, but he throws a pitch inside, but it's down, where you just have to drop the barrel on it, makes it so much easier to make contact. Top spin, as you said, and rolled it through there. If it's in and belt high, it's a different story.
Grossman's 1 for 3, had a bloop hit and scored a run his last time around. Fernando Abad is up in the Twins pen here in the 7th. AJ couldn't find it in time to keep Rosario from moving up 90 feet. That hurts. Now a hit could tie it.
Nice stop, but AJ was ready to go to the backstop. He didn't know it hit Doug Eddings in the shin guard.
One ball, no strikes. That's a good spot. Pulled a string beautifully. 1-2.
Yeah, I don't like throwing anything to a hitter who's late, to throw him something that speeds up his bat that he can catch up to. But the difference between his fastball and his changeup is so good tonight that it is really effective, and had Grossman out on his front foot too.
Let's see what Mauricio has in mind with a 1-2 pitch. We'll have to wait. Stay right 3 right down the middle, and Grossman is frozen. The Twins threaten. They do not score in the 7th. We head to the 8th. 8-7. Atlanta leads the Twins. Turner Field Saturday, August 20th for a free post-game concert, part of the Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines Summer Concert Series. Field passes are also on sale for just $20 a piece. Go to Braves.com/Torrey Kelly today, and that's T-O-R-I Kelly.
About some breathing room. Get that offense going again.
In the Braves' eighth, Ibar, Peterson, Beckham, and we hope Freddie Freeman. Taylor Rogers is a Twin.
Yes, he is. He plays for the Minnesota Ball Club. He's right on the river of Mississippi River.
That's true, yes. But literally is a twin. Smart Alec. His brother Tyler was drafted by the Giants in the 10th round in 2013 out of Austin Peay. Yes, he's a twin. Come on. 1-2 pitch is bounced into the Braves dugout.
I just thought you were making a statement.
No.
Okay.
Tall, angular lefty, 6'3", 170 pounds. Born in and lives in Littleton, Colorado. And a looping liner over first. That'll get down for a hit. And an excellent start for the Braves' eighth. So the only Atlanta starter without a hit is Nick Markakis this evening. The Braves have 14 hits in total.
Well, you know he wants a ground ball to try to perhaps get a double play, but even so, if I'm Jace, I'm looking for that hook. See if I can sit on it and pull it.
He's going to try to bunt. That was tipped into Suzuki's glove.
Same goes for the hitters as it does the pitchers. You got to get that bat out front.
Jace has one sacrifice bunt this year. More action in the Twins bullpen. Ryan Presley. We might see them all before this one's over. And Jace couldn't get it down on a 2-1 pitch. Now the count's even.
He's leaving. He's already left the box. He's like bunting for a hit. That was an excellent pitch to bunt. Breaking ball.
Fly ball toward left. That'll get down in front of Grossman. So isn't it funny how it works out?
Yeah.
Peterson can't get a bunt down, but he ladles a single into left field, and the Braves in business with 2 on and nobody out.
I like that. Ladled. That's what it sounded like when he hit it. So now it's up to Gordon if they're going to bunt With a runner at first, they'll surely be bunting here. Let's see. Good night for Gordon. Snapped out of an 0 for 16.
2 doubles, an RBI, 3 runs scored.
Sano has had defensive problems at third. Make him field it.
10 errors in 23 games at third base. No sign of a bunt on the first pitch. Drilled foul.
Kind of got a sense that he wasn't going to bunt here by watching Ibar. Ibar had a real short lead at second base.
Nice stop. 1-2.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if someone doesn't come along and snap Suzuki up. That needs some catching help.
Mets apparently are looking. Cleveland is looking. Houston might be looking. Despite the good play of Evan Gattis back there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a little low. After Beckham, you've got 2 more lefty hitters. Freddie Freeman, who's had a gigantic night, and then Nick Markakis. After we played a 2-hour and 23-minute National League style game last night, welcome to an American League game this evening. 15 runs, 28 combined hits. And 2 1-2-3 innings.
Gordon has seen all of his pitches, including a pretty good sinker that he took for a ball to make it 2-2. He's seen the 2-seamer, the 4-seamer, and the hook.
Pulled. Oh, what a pickup. Sano steps on the bag. Throw to first. It is in time. Mauer held the bag at first. And Beckham did hit it to third, and Sano made an incredible play to start the Twin killing.
An amazing bit of glove work there. I'm going to be very surprised if Mauer was able to keep his foot on the bag here. With so many Braves yelling all at once. No appeal.
Wow. For all the talk about Joe Mauer and his offense and taking nothing away from the Sano play, how about the work Joe Mauer has turned in at first base? He's made only 2 errors all year.
He's got it.
Wow.
That is a tremendous play.
So Freddie Freeman is the batter. 4 hits, 5 RBIs, which match a career high. And Jace Peterson's the runner at second with 2 outs. "27 years ago today, Dale Murphy had a 6 RBI inning for the Braves."
Oh my.
Freeman's looking for a 6th RBI with this 8th inning at bat. Murph hit 2 3-run homers in the 6th inning against the Giants. And They won't mess with him as hot as he's been. Nick Markakis, the only Brave without a hit tonight. He'll bat with 2 aboard and 2 out.
Well, you knew that if Beckham was bunting and put the bunt down, they probably pitch around Freddie anyway. But that still would have been bases loaded, 1 out for Nick, who's been very good, especially on the road with runners in scoring position.
Braves Live presented by Xfinity follows us from Target Field as we've reached 10 o'clock Central Time. Wild game. Ground ball up the middle on the first pitch, a base hit. Here comes Peterson around third. The throw toward the plate is late, and Jace Peterson scores standing up. Every Brave has a hit tonight, and Nick Markakis extends the lead to 9-7.
There's that clutch road work. A lot of room up the middle. Just barely got it past Rogers. Again, Rosario with a good arm. Made a good effort, but too late.
So that's the end of the line for the Twins left-hander. Paul Molitor goes ever deeper into his bullpen. We'll see a 5th Twins pensman with Atlanta up 9-7 in the 8th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, the Georgia Lottery, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
Well, back at Target Field, the Braves have played bullseye with the bats. Every Atlanta starter has at least 1 hit. And the Braves now look at Ryan Presley, the 5th Twins reliever. And a red-hot Adonis Garcia greets him and takes ball 1.
Presley throws hard, 94-97 with a hard slider. Uses a curveball as his off-speed pitch.
Out of Highland Village, Texas, a Rule 5 pick out of the Red Sox organization. And driven toward right. That will be playable, and that will retire the side. Nick Markakis jumped all over a first pitch and drives home an insurance run. It's 9-7 in the 8th. Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. If you like offense, you've liked this game a lot. And if you're a Braves fan, you like the fact that Atlanta's up 2 with 6 more outs to get.
And that Chris Withrow is on a real good run, blanking opponents. He worked 2/3 of an inning last night, looked sharp, struck out one of those 2 guys.
He'll face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Minnesota: Suzuki, Santana, and then Nunez.
17 of his last 18 outings scoreless. Another tremendous outing by Mauricio Cabrera, an inning and a third, 3 strikeouts, 1 hit.
So he turns it over to Withrow in the 8th. And that's out of play, right side foul, 1 and 2 for Kurt Suzuki.
Big run delivered by Markakis here. Give the Braves a little bit of breathing room.
To third, and Adonis played it to the side, and that's into left field. Suzuki's aboard for a 3rd time, and the tying run comes to the plate with nobody out.
Well, if nothing else, I've learned you can't pitch him down in the zone because he will barrel it, and Adonis needed to get in front of that one. That'll be an E5.
His 13th error of the year. Santana's up. An infield hit back in the 6th. Missed a corner. 2-0. After Santana, Nunez, Mauer, Sano, and Dozier lurk on the Twins lineup card.
Yeah, the top of their order has done quite a bit of damage tonight too.
Fouled away. It's now 2-2. Of course, with no need to double switch in the American League game, both benches are well stocked. Twins have Max Kepler, Eduardo Escobar, Byron Buxton, and Juan Centeno, their other catcher, available. Braves have Brandon Snyder, Anthony Recker, and Chase d'Arnaud. But now Withrow's got to throw a strike or we've got real big problems. 3-2, nobody out. Santana represents the tying run.
Make him put it in play.
He couldn't. An error and a walk.
First walk of the night for Atlanta. after Harrell walked 3 last night. No walks.
So let's see how the Twins play it. They're down 2 on, nobody out. You've got Mauer on deck. He showed bunt, but Chris missed high. 1 ball, no strikes.
He'll want to bunt it to third. Make Garcia come off the bag and then move everybody up.
He stabbed at that pitch and didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Gene Glenn, the third base coach.
Tell you how differently these two teams play. Minnesota has 16 sacrifice bunts this year. The Braves have 43. Different style of play in the American League game. But they need a bunt here. 1-1 pitch. It's popped up. It's going to drop perfectly. Freeman throws to third and in time. The runner at second, Suzuki, had to hold, I suppose, thinking that ball might have been caught.
Exactly. He didn't want to run into a double play. Catcher's speed on top of that. So he had to wait and make sure it dropped, and by that time Freddie had a chance to look and look again. Look at that stretch by Adonis. Nothing Suzuki could do about that.
Braves not out of the woods yet. Here's Mauer. 2 hits, an RBI, and a run. And Withrow gets ahead. Strike 1.
There are teams, I was told, that pitch him away and play him away so much that the right fielder actually, in some cases, is positioned in front of that out-of-town scoreboard out there. That's how far they play him off the line and right, and then pitch him accordingly.
That jammed him, and it's into the seats. Left side foul. 0-2. Ground ball right side. Beckham knocked it down and threw him out at first. Good play to his left. That one stuck in the leather, and Beckham saved a run by keeping that ball on the infield for out number 2.
Yeah, he got that one a little deeper in the pocket. But they got Mauer to roll over the top of one. Nice play. And as you said, not out of the woods yet. A.J. Brzezinski reminding the infielders, knock the ball down. Tough play, you knock it down, you give up one, but you've still got the lead.
A strike to Sano. Braves have struck him out twice. He's grounded out to second once. And then he spoiled a shift in the 5th inning, hitting a ball to the first base side of second base that scored 2 runs back in the 5th.
He struck out 5 times already in these 2 games. Yes, he did. Pitch was a strike anyway.
Nothing and 2. Swing and a miss, and Withrows out of it. Sano snaps the bat in half in frustration, flips the helmet away in disgust. 2 Twins left in scoring position in a 2-run game in the 8th inning. Withrow gets his man. Sano not happy. We go to the 9th.
Was presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Another famous Minneapolis eating spot, that is Mickey's Diamond Car. It's been in operation 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for nearly 70 years. And one of the first diners to be placed on the National Historic Registry. Swing and a miss by Jeff Francoeur as we kick off the 9th inning. 2 hits, 2 strikeouts for Jeff, including a 2-run homer in the 1st.
And a stolen base without a throw.
And he's down on strikes. 1 away in the 9th. Ender Inciarte's 1 for 4. He'll take an 8-game hitting streak into tomorrow night's game with fighting Phillies. Matt Whistler and Aaron Nola. Hope you'll join us for Braves Live at 6:30. First pitch at 7:10. Braves have another brief homestand. 4 with the Phillies, an off day Monday. Then the Pirates come to town for 3. Then we hit the road to Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Washington.
Yeah, I believe Matt was sent home early to get some rest so that he didn't have to endure the early morning arrival since he's pitching tomorrow. There's Jim getting ready for his 2nd night in a row.
a swing and a miss by Inciarte. Presley's been very impressive. Second strikeout. And A.J. Pierzynski will hit.
That's 10 strikeouts for Twins pitchers tonight.
One last chance for the Twins to say goodbye to A.J.
It's funny, they didn't even notice him last night. Double and a run scored last night, double tonight. They started paying attention.
And hits an 11 of 13 for A.J., who takes low, ball one. All the other big league action is final with the exception of one game. The Royals lead the Angels 7-3 in the ninth. Here it's 9-7 Braves in the ninth. And a cue shot right side of the mound. Presley backhands, catcher running, throws to first in time. And that will send the game to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Chief, Jim Johnson, threw his last warm-up toss in the bullpen. He'll come on and try to save it next.
Baseball is sponsored by Georgia's best Chevy dealers, Georgia Power, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
That's the Stone Arch Bridge here in Minneapolis. Hope you enjoyed all these bumper shots from our great photographer, Sean Farnham, who worked hard all week with us on the road trip. Beautiful scenics in a terrific city, Minneapolis, where the Braves try to seal the deal in the ninth inning, leading by 2 by a 9-7 score.
Jim Johnson had a real good outing last night to earn his third save. 3 up and 3 down in the ninth with a strikeout of Rosario to end the ball game. So what started off as a laugher, easy night for Brian Snitker and his staff, turned out to be anything but.
4, 5, and 6 coming up.
Braves led 7-0.
And Johnson delivers a quick strike.
There's another guy that's rumored to be on the move, perhaps.
Popped up mile high down the left field line. Will it stay in play? Right off the top of the wall behind the tarp. And 0-2.
Rumored that several teams are interested in Jim Johnson.
Understandably so. He's done good work since coming back from that break for the off-season hernia surgery. 21 games, 2-1 record, a 2.08 ERA in that stretch with 3 saves. Before he went to the DL, 4 losses and a 7.90 ERA. Jim has 250 save seasons in the big leagues, so that experience would serve playoff teams well.
Absolutely, it would. Especially for teams that, they don't need a closer. If they're a contender, they probably already have someone. So, as a late inning setup guy.
Whew. And a good start. Got Dozier with a hook. One away.
Good one.
Join us for the first ever craft beer night on Friday, August 19th at Braves and Brews. Washington Nationals will be in town. Come out to Turner Field. Try the best beers that Atlanta breweries have to offer. Go to Braves.com/Braves and Brews for details about that ticket package.
It's a great idea.
Kenny Vargas takes a little low. He's 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
Braves will put a shift on for Vargas. Well, they keep moving Ibar back and forth. Since we've only seen Vargas as the DH, haven't really got a feel for what kind of defender he might be, but he's a presence at the plate, I can tell you that. Switch hitter. 289 average coming in left-handed and 5 for 11 right-handed.
To the right side, big hop for Gordon Beckham. Perfect throw. The Braves are an out away. And the last chance for the Twins is their center fielder Eddie Rosario. Two hits for him. He scored a run and knocked in one as well.
I would think that however this game turns out, the Twins are more than a little concerned about Tyler Duffy. His last 2 starts, 3 2/3 innings, 17 hits and 11 runs.
Oh, what a pretty breaking ball.
Another good one.
He's had excellent stuff tonight. And the Braves are a strike away. And conversely for the Braves, on a night when Mike Foltynewicz appeared not to have his best stuff, Braves gave him a lot of runs. And that's your ball game. Jim Johnson nails it down, and the Braves have swept the Twins. 9-7 is your final score. Mike Foltynewicz picks up the victory. Duffy suffers his 8th defeat. Jim Johnson picks up the save, courtesy of a huge night at the plate for Freddie Freeman. He reached base 5 times, 4 hits, 1 homer, and 5 RBIs. Joe, his big night is our State Farm instant replay.
Absolutely. The 5 driven in were something else. That home run to straightaway center, though, was high and far over the center field wall. That was amazing. And I'll tell you something else. He hooked that breaking ball off the left-hander for an extra base hit. This winning thing's kind of fun.
Right. 3 hours and 19 minutes. Crowd of 29,482. Braves sweep the Twins. We'll head home with a 9.